Another man done gone from the county from another.
It's Jax.
man done
What up,
gone.
Dollars? Let's go.
Martin Luther had a dream, but Freddy Krueger had a Ruger. Ex-Malcolm out the picture, so now we back to the future. Now we back to these losers embracing death like they used to. Poking out they chest, but listen, son, now you leaking that future. So who's the shooter? Is it your man? Or was it a fan? Or was it a stand? I would beg to differ. In hindsight, I bet you he said he was not a nigga. Plus Biggie Smalls was just minding his business, yo. Smoking an Optimo. Somebody got to drop the homie Biggie has got to go. And they couldn't stop it, no, I wish that they could. Yeah, the world needs change, but man, I wish that we would. So why the long frown? A man harmed from a 4-pound. His blood ripples on the floor from the war sound. His mama sitting at the wake, hoping the Lord's found. Another dead, another gone now. Damn.
Another man done gone. Another man done gone from the county from another man
Shit.
done gone.
George Eliot said that it's best to be what you wanna be. Fucking do what you wanna do, so I do what I wanna do. Bet you did it to floss. Bitch, I did what I wanted. Bet you did it and lost. Bitch, I did it and won it. Shit, I'm never coming back. Listen, I just wanna rap. Gee, I told you all of that. On about a dozen tracks. I don't give a fuck. I just wanna rap. Spitting fire on this track like a fucking Thundercat. Plus this mic is bleeding rojo. This shit is a no-no. Rolling in that low-low. Plus I'm from that Baltimore. Need a folk, smoking on my logo. Ready for the woe, and we so silly with the flow. Somebody call a popo. Heard the lanes and I swear they so too much love for the fame just to go broke. You said think I had the rap game in the chokehold. Never think I got the whole world in a rope. Gotta think of damn dog, you crazy. Is he the next Jay-Z? My crystal ball is hazy, but I don't know, maybe.
Welcome back to the Insanity Check Podcast. This is your host, Chris, here. And I have no stranger to the network. He's been here. He is officially now, he cannot run away from it. Editor on the MTR Network, podcast host on the MTR Network, and a good friend of mine. I have Deepom. What's going on, man?
Everything I'm about to talk about is not my fault.
Hey, look at it. Look, it wasn't that bad of a week compared to what has happened before.
I want to get in front of this. This was not my fault.
Usually, if you're new to the show, usually what's happened before. We literally waited. This is your first time on the Insanity Check in 2017, right?
Since the election.
Yeah, because we were like, if we bring Deepom on too soon, it could literally be nuclear holocaust. Because every time we brought you on the Insanity Check, bad shit would happen.
Like, we would announce that I'm coming on, and then, like, it'd be a week of fuckery. And then it happened 3 or 4 times.
I think it's safe to say now, it is passed on to Joy from Black Girl.
No, I'm inoculated.
It's passed on to her.
Inoculated. In Trump's America, this is his fault.
I mean, well, I'm just talking about in general. I'm talking even before the election. I think the more crazier shows started going to her, not you. So I think you might be out of the woods, man. You might be. I mean,
I really wish you wouldn't tempt fate like that, because now I can never come on again.
Oh man. Well, and if you
final appearance on the Insanity Check.
well, here's the other thing too. Here's another way you can look at it too. Technically, you're on the network at least 3 times a week anyway. So technically, and I think that once you started the unanimous decision, and so you had your own weekly podcast, that's when it really started not happening as much. Because it's like, oh well, we already got you every week, so it's just a bad.
Let's just pretend we haven't done 2 years of Super Tuesdays.
Yeah,
let's just do that.
It's just gonna, it was just that was the final breaking point, yo. It just, it was my, you got me, Deepom. I was conspiring with fate, and it was me and fate, and we were trying to force you to get the unanimous decision onto this network.
You mean the weekly sports podcast that somehow is hitting week 42 that started in September?
I just noticed somebody said that because so I'm looking through so the Twitter account, the official Twitter account for just the entire network is the MTR Network, and so I have a column in my tweet deck that shows me mentions every now and then. And most times I'll respond, stuff like that. And I saw that, I think it was I don't know if it was either a hashtag or the Twitter account, but somebody responded to you because you had said, "Man, I can't believe we've done 5 character corners this year already." It's like, how did that happen? I'm like, wow, that is a think about it. It's only been 4 months. How did we do 5 character corners?
Yeah, I was very that was a moment for me.
And then somebody responds to you is like, probably the same way you pretty much did 41 unanimous decisions since like September. And I was like, oh damn, you have had 41 shows. Good God, man. I don't think there's been 41 Insanity checks since then.
I don't know what happened.
You've done more Insanity checks than I have.
I don't know what to tell you. I've got nothing.
Oh man, it's so good. It's so good.
I got nothing. I can't even explain it. It just sort of happened.
Like I said, man, people just come to me with these ideas and who am I to deny you all your greatness of having podcasts? Who am I? I can't stop that. I can't say no to that. What kind of an asshole would I be?
Oh, okay, Chris.
So great. Oh man. All right, we got a full show today. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. So I'm gonna jump right in here and get some of the housekeeping stuff out of the way. This show is being sponsored by Susan Berry, the Poole Law Firm, which is located in Silver Spring, Maryland. Susan Berry and Troy Poole are excellent attorneys in the Maryland and D.C. area, so they're from the D.C. and Maryland area. So if you're in the DMV, please check them out. The Poole Law Firm handles criminal law, family law, and personal injury. So if you need an attorney, you want to know more, please head over to their wonderful website. The website is www.thepoolelawfirm.com. That's Poole with an E, so it's Poole, lawfirm.com. Number 301-585-3014. Also, other ways you can support the network. Obviously, there's our Amazon store. So we're having all these links coming in. It's going to be way easier to get to our Amazon store once I get the new site up. I'm going to talk about that in a minute, about me working on this new site. You guys are really going to like this. Also, check out our sponsor, tweakedaudio.com. The earbuds and headphones. They have Bluetooth earbuds now. Put the code in reviews. You get 33% off, free shipping, free lifetime warranty. Lifetime warranty is lifetime. It works. So please go out there and hit them up. Also, again, this is the best way to support us, and I'm going to be getting into this a little bit more too, the MTR Premium Network. We have tons of shows out there. Koki and P-Funk are really doing, they are just, they're the new D-Palms in terms of, I swear when they came to me, they was like, we'll do 2 episodes a month, and they've literally I think they've skipped 1 weekend.
It's addictive.
It is. Hey, listen, podcasting is addictive, and the show's great. So check them out on the network. I know we just put up another episode of the Doctor Who retrospective. So we have episode 2 is up there. I know the ladies for the MTR Network just did another Docu-Drunks episode, which is really good. And then we have another one waiting in the wings for us to put up, I think, next month. So there's stuff there. Tomorrow, D-Palm is back on, and we're going to be doing our Hellboy Volume 1 through 3 comic book club. Then next week is Predator 2, the nostalgia review. There's a ton of stuff out there. Me and Petty, we are going to be doing a Scarestalgia soon. Trust me, it's going to happen. So we got that. I got to get John back on for a Hell No Cubic. Again, there's a ton. We now have so many premium shows. You will not go without having a show at some point. It's $8 a month. It is a steal. And the great thing about it is it helps us fund everything we've done. We just started a new show, and this is not premium, and I'm really happy about this. Our new, with Latoya, her new show, Secret Sauce, which is kind of building on the Black Woman Shoutout we did. We just started that. It sounds really good. The first episode is amazing. And I was able to buy the equipment that she's using to do that show, because of MTR Premium. So, I was able to give out to the other people on our networks mixers and podcaster starter kits so they can actually bring you high quality shows. So this is where it goes to us going to conventions, us, when we're going to talk about in a minute, these, the live show we're planning with Rod, Karen, and the Workman 40 Acres crew with Phenom and them. All that stuff is coming to you guys because of the support you guys give us with the MTR Premium Network. So sign up for MTR Premium Network. It's $8 a month. It is literally a steal. We really probably should be charging more, but, I think it's a good price point to get you guys everything you need. And It helps us support us here. And also right now, because I'm also jobless, but I'll talk about that in a minute too. So that also helps me make sure I can keep bringing and paying the bills so I can keep bringing the network going on there. And I'm trying to think. I mentioned it before, June 16th to the 18th at AwesomeCon. We are not having our panel at AwesomeCon this year. They turned us down. A little bit upset about that. But we don't need them. We're going to be trying to do a live show, basically, bringing back that 4 Local podcast party, the MTR Network, Where's My 40 Acres, the Black Eye Tips. We're doing a live show. We're working out the exact times. Right now, it's looking like June 17th, that Saturday, probably during the day sometimes, won't be night. But we're going to see. I'm waiting on one more venue to get back to me so I can do some comparisons. But stay tuned for how you buy your tickets for that and come out and support us and see some of your favorite podcasters doing a live show. And if you went to AwesomeCon last year or the last 2 years and you saw us at AwesomeCon, you know how much fun it is. And it's going to be cheaper than that. So come out and support. Come out and have some fun. And if you're also got your AwesomeCon tickets, you can still go to AwesomeCon afterwards or before and still have fun there. So, yeah, it's going to be in D.C. on more likely June 17th. So just stay tuned, listen to that. And I think that is all the major stuff. So, like I was saying,
I'm waiting till after the bachelor party to buy a plane ticket. Because if I survive the bachelor party, that's my next big thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's next weekend, right?
Yeah.
Godspeed, sir.
I appreciate it.
I'm just gonna leave it there. Godspeed, sir.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I was saying, so a couple things. One, quit my job this week. The good news, I am not completely crazy. I do have another job offer. It's contingent on some paperwork going through. So I don't know how long that paperwork's going to take, though. So if I'm lucky, only 2 weeks. If it takes longer than that, then I might have to move some money around and do some things and get creative. But I'm actually kind of really excited. The job I was at, they were terrible. You ever been somewhere especially as a black person, and you think they're being racist, but you don't want to believe it because you're like, maybe you're being overly sensitive?
You give everyone that benefit of the doubt. That super extra one. So you do because you don't want it to be true.
Yeah, you're just like, okay, maybe I'm being over the top. So I'm talking to one of the black guys at the job before I left. I was talking to him. So I left on Friday, my last day. Left on Thursday. He basically, because I was like, it's kind of weird. I got the offer on Monday. Told them Tuesday, Friday's my last day. Because, again, fuck that 2 weeks notice thing. That shit's a courtesy. And I've been feeling very unappreciated. So I was like, let's see what they do if I say Friday's my last day. Let's see if they come to me and say, hey, can we keep you on?
Here's a raise. Let's see what we can do to keep you.
They did not.
Of course not.
Nobody in management came to talk to me. The HR lady that's called me at least 3 different times to talk about my attitude and shit and raising my voice to my coworkers who were literally trying to belittle me. She never at any point met with me face to face to talk about me leaving. She would meet face to face with me, talk about my attitude, but never met face to face with me to talk about, even to make sure that the person who comes in after me had everything they needed to get the work done. Like, none of them. None of that happened. So
that's crazy, and that's right there is a great example of why the hell you gotta leave.
I'm like, so fuck me. You don't even care enough. You don't even care enough about the work to make sure that you can carry on after me. Which then goes back to you never valued the work I did. So anytime somebody would come and talk to me that they actually knew how much work I did, I would tell them, I was like, oh no, nobody's talked to me. Nobody talked to me? I was like, no. I actually got an email from the HR lady on Thursday because she was going to work from home on Friday to just leave my badge on her desk when I leave on Friday. That was it. Yeah, so the black guy was basically like, oh yeah, no, they're racist here. They're a lot of them are from. He broke down the areas that some of these people are from. It was like, oh, those areas are very, very racist, and stuff I've talked about before. It's like I've seen Trump stickers and things like that. So it fits into the idea of me always having to prove myself. And at this point in my career, that's bullshit. I don't believe
Absolute bullshit.
I don't actually. I have been in the industry I was working in since I was 18. Before I went to college, I spent four weeks working at Northrop Grumman. Actually, I think it was longer than that. I think it was like 6 weeks. On a 6-week internship working in an IT department in Northrop Grumman. That was my first job ever. So like, I've always done this work, you know, and that's just IT work. Going to development and programming and then building. Like, I have been in this since I was 17 to 18 years old. Turned 35. And literally in a month. And I get berated and talked to like this and don't get appreciated for the work I do. I'm like, okay. When I was telling my replacement the work he has to do, he looked at me like, wait, so it's just you? It's like, yeah, it's just me. Now it's just you. I'm gone. So
How am I gonna? That's not my problem.
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Yeah, it's just one of the things that made me. And this leads me to my next thing, because and the bigger thing that I kind of went off on. Like, if this has to happen, like, I expect this in a corporate environment and work. Sometimes you're gonna get these things. What really got me this week though was, so if you follow us on Twitter and shit, if you've been listening to us last year, you know the same thing happened to us last year. New York Comic Con got back to us. We applied for New York Comic Con again this year for press passes. We've been covering New York Comic Con since 2013. They did not have press passes again this year. Same thing happened last year. And I eventually got an email back this week, and the same problem happened. When you apply to these outlet, these cons and things like that, it's a standard. It's an application. You put in. They ask you certain things. New York Comic Con asks you what your distribution numbers are and things like that. We answer truthfully every time. Now, I'll admit, when we first started off doing this, like back in 2013, we might have fudged the numbers a little bit. In 2017, we don't have to do that shit. We're open and honest. I went as far as breaking down what the last 3 months numbers were, what our overall numbers are, which is over 2 million, 2.5 million downloads over 4 years. I broke down our monthly numbers for the last 3 months, and I told them in a little print, because the application is terrible. It's all on one line, and I told them, it's like, if you need verification, we can send you a screenshot of the Libsyn stats and show you what they are. Still denied us. So I emailed back this week, and they were like, well, we couldn't verify your number because of the website. And again, our web traffic isn't that huge because we don't really, it's people get us through.
It's a landing page for the podcast.
It's just a landing page. I mean, everybody gets it through their podcast apps or their iTunes or whatever. And again, I'm hoping to change that because I'm working on a really cool design and new design that's going to center on podcasts for the MTR network, and it's really, really cool. It's part of the thing I'm going to be working on the next few weeks while I'm out of work. I'll be working on this. I'm really, really excited about it. And I put our YouTube links. Our YouTube is basically either our interviews from cons or, Libsyn automatically posts our episodes to YouTube for. So the same episode you hear on iTunes, some people listen to it on YouTube because, again, YouTube, for some reason, works in some work environments, whereas it can't get iTunes or something like that. So some people listen to us in their way of listening to our show. And I'm like, hey, those are extra numbers. They're low, but they're extra. Hey, if I get an extra 50 views or 100 views through YouTube, fuck it, I'll take it. I'm not going to say no to extra. It's not something we push. Again, new website design. I'll be pushing the YouTube a little bit more. But it's not something we push. I don't put out those. I know you do. And you see that in the numbers, so you get more numbers for some of those things. But yeah, I don't really push the YouTube for that. But they use that because we can't verify your numbers. I'm like, but we're on iTunes. We have when you go into iTunes, you see you see how popular an episode is. Like you can go into iTunes and see that. We have reviews on iTunes. Some shows don't have reviews. We have reviews on iTunes. We have all these shows. I told you what are down. Like we just did this last year. You don't believe us, and that's what got me. It's like, you don't believe us. You think we're lying, even though we've proven time and time again And it's one thing for me to prove myself in a corporate environment that I don't give a fuck about. But I love doing podcasting. And we've turned this into a business. The MTR network is a business. We have literally put quality and time into making sure this works. I put money into making sure this works. And if you were a premium subscriber on the Black Eye Tips, you kind of heard a little bit of this rant yesterday when we started the Nerd Off. But I'm really tired of all of us black podcasters having to constantly try to prove ourselves relevant when other shows don't have to, when we do better than they do with less resources and less recognition. It is absolutely absurd. I'm going to read something. This is from 2013. And this has generally still been what they believe is. And this is actually coming from the VP of Podcast Relations over at Libsyn, where I host my podcast at. Rob Welch said in September 2013, a podcast episode that has been live for approximately 30 days, a month, averages... let me ask you, Deep. How many averages do you think a podcast episode that has been live for 30 days, for an entire month, how many downloads do you think it averages? It should average.
The average podcast?
Yeah.
Maybe 600, 700?
141 downloads. 141 downloads. That is the average for a podcast episode that's been live for 30 days.
Okay. That's low.
That is the average. All right.
Is that low though? Because you do our numbers more than I do. It feels low.
Just wait. Just whoa. If you have over 3,400 downloads for an episode that's been live for 30 days, you're in the top 10% of all podcasts. If you have over 9,000 downloads, you're in the top 5%. If you have over 50,000 downloads per episode in 30 days, you're in the top 1%. That's like Adam Carolla, Jim Moore, Mac Maron, those kind of things. Like nowhere near that, right? And again, there's a huge difference between the 1% and the 5%, as you can see, and even the 10%, right? We get that, right? To give you, and I'll go more into this, but to give you an idea of why this makes me upset, like I said, Latoya, we just launched a new show, Secret Sauce. Latoya doesn't involve me. Doesn't involve, like, Latoya's been on, she does docu-drunks, but she's not a voice that people who aren't premium have heard a lot like that. I don't even think she's been on a regular, like, non-premium show yet. It was a new show for her, all right? She did, in the 4 hours that episode was up, I put that episode up, and I think I put it up, I think it was Wednesday? I put it up Wednesday? In the 4 hours it was up.
We talked about it Wednesday, so I think that was it.
Yeah, I put it up Wednesday. In the 4 hours it was up. 4 hours. It did 4 times the average downloads that people are getting for 30 days of downloads.
Wow.
In 4 hours. And here's the thing. It's a new show. It's on the low end for our network. All right? She already has a successful podcast after one episode. These other shows were averaging. I was like, okay, maybe this is just wrong, right? Maybe this is again, this is when 2013 is old. So I went and I went, and I normally don't go here, but I went to Reddit, right? So there's a Reddit thread I saw. All right. Somebody wanted to know, hey, I'm just starting off, y'all. I want to know what's a good number of podcast downloads to be getting, blah blah blah. And people were really like, people were on some, man, if I got 55 downloads a month, man, I was happy.
God, now I'm wondering what my numbers are.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you right now, you're in a top. If 3,400 downloads is 10%, and again, I'm gonna tell you, we're kind of handicapping our numbers because, and I'm trying to change. I started changing this with your show. I typically only promote our shows the week they come out. because after a week, another episode's come out. So
that's one of the best things we do because we're weekly podcasts.
Right. So last week's Insanity Check only gets promotion from last Saturday to basically like literally. I think I put it on Twitter like maybe an hour ago. So that's it. It gets 7 days of promotion from me. Then I move on because we got another show coming out already. The only other shows that don't do that are Character Corners, and I see the Character Corners numbers keep going up because I can go back and promote them. All right. So usually our numbers aren't in 30 days. These are from just promoting a show for 7 days. Almost every single one of our podcasts hits 1,000 downloads within the first couple of days. Some of them do it in the first few hours.
Wow.
All right. I'm not saying this stuff to brag, because here's the thing. I'm proud of our numbers. Our numbers probably pale in comparison to places like Project Fandom, Rod. Here's the thing about Rod. I don't know how many episodes he keeps up on this feed, but it's like he didn't even keep all his backlog up there because you gotta go premium. So Rod is doing these things same way, just in a week or however long he has the shows up there. Then he's getting people paying. That's another thing too. People are talking about 140 downloads in a month. We're getting more than that as paid subscribers. These are people that are paying. These are 140 downloads on a free podcast. We're doing 140 at least, just off of the fact that, you know, we have more than that than people that are paid subscribers. I know Rod has way more than that. You know, Project Fandom has way more than that, and they have people that are supporting them and finishing. These are all black podcasts. Jay and them just started. They just built their new studio. These are all black podcasts, all financially supported by their listener base, all doing way more. All these podcasts in the top 10%, according to these numbers and stats. Why the fuck do we need to? Why the fuck are we still trying to prove that we belong? It's insulting. It's insulting. Like, I have no problem with people working their way up because I worked my way up. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't be able to get into events and shouldn't be able to do that. No, they should, because that's how I got in. I want people to be able to have the same access that I got. Like, I love the fact that there are podcasts that are small, other black podcasts that are smaller than me, that are getting access and doing things and are scrapping and running. And I think it's great, but it also makes me mad that they're going to do all this stuff just to get to where we're at and still be fighting and scrapping and trying to get the recognition for what you're doing. Where if we had a podcast that was, but like talking about with Rogers today, if we were white, we would have been asked by somebody to pick us up. Would have been asked by a larger network, can we pick up your podcast? Yeah. I don't really want that, because I like having control of myself, and we don't really need that. But the fact that people are knocking down our doors, forget even that. Why aren't people coming and knocking on Rod's door going, yo, can you consult for us? Like, do you know what consulting fees should be for black podcasters out here? Like, I keep seeing these articles. This is why we used to get mad at these articles that are talking about where are the black podcasts? I'm like, what the fuck you mean, where are we? We're everywhere, and we're doing numbers. We've been doing numbers. You know? If you're using the numbers that you're using these articles about, 140 downloads in 30 days, that's average. That's above average. Like, you're getting 200. That's not bad. Nigga, what?
You're right. I mean, like, that's, and the crazy shit is, like, hearing it stark out like the numbers. There's no other excuse.
And this is why I don't like talking the numbers. I was saying this. I don't like doing this.
Frustrating.
I don't like being that guy. But at the same time, like, we as black podcasters, because we're not these people. We are constantly being humble about what we're doing, but we're doing way better. So it's like, why are we doing it? Like, I'm going back and I'm looking. So let's see. Going back to. I'm gonna see if I can pull up some, because these are and most of these numbers are just for the last 4 years. These are not like, because I've been podcasting for a long time. These are not podcasting numbers I'm just going back to like 2013, right? Because that's when we kind of really started doing movie trailer reviews. All right, we have shows that started there, so we've grown from 2013 from doing numbers like that. And again, this doesn't include And actually, to tell you the truth, I don't remember the last time we got under 1,000 getting under 1,000 downloads for an Insanity Check had to happen back in like 2010 or something like that. 2011, 2012.
Right.
You know, once we moved everything over. I'm trying to look at the numbers now to see when we did that. I think it was 2014 sometime. I think it was end of 2014. Yeah, end of 2014. I mean, I started looking at what our monthly totals were in those months. It's ridiculous. Like, why do we have to fight for what we were doing? You know? And it doesn't make any fucking sense. Then when you go back and look at this whole idea of, again, these are only when they talk about character corners and things like that, where I don't really promote old Insanity Checks. I'm gonna start doing that. I need to. All right, I'm start doing that. When you look at those numbers, let me see. Hold on, let me refresh this page. I'm bringing this up because again, remember the average is 141 downloads in 30 days. All right. So let's look at the Character Corner. Going back, we started the Character Corner in 2015. And
we've done this for 2 years. Wow.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy, right? Started 2015. So, first episode we ever did was June 2015. Second episode we did was, I think, 4th of July weekend, July 2015. All right. Looking, and that was our Wally West episode. I haven't really promoted the Wally West episode in a long time. It's been a while. Back in February, we did 177 downloads on that old episode from almost 2 years ago. No promotion.
Wow.
No nothing. Remember, the average is 141 downloads.
For a new one.
For a new show. This is an old show from almost 2 years ago with no promotion.
People just found out.
Rogue Wars. The last episode we did. Last August. 147 downloads in February.
Damn.
March of this year. Last year in September, we did the Luke Cage and Misty Knight episode, right? One of our best downloaded shows ever. Last month, 139 downloads. I didn't promote. I promoted the second episode, second part of that, because we did, Iron Fist, but I didn't really promote Luke Cage and Misty Knight. 140 downloads on that. I'm not promoting these old shows. People just find them and they still download those. It still does over the average of people that are trying to push out a new show, a new episode that they just put out. Average. And again, I'm on the low end, I believe, of some of the bigger names out there who are doing better. We don't to come to me and be like, well, we don't believe in. This is where it gets frustrating to me. Yeah. Because at what point do I need to then? What more do I need to prove to do this? And here's the thing about this: we are just like Project Fandom, just like Black Eye Tips, just like a lot of the other places. We're totally independent. We're not run by an offshoot of. And again, not saying there's anything wrong with this. We're not run by like an offshoot of BuzzFeed podcast or the Nerdist or no, we're not doing that. This is
if
literally.
I want to do something crazy, I just ask Chris, "You think I can try this?" He says, "Sure, try it," and we do it.
Yeah, I mean, this is literally just us building. Go back to that Charlemagne thing. Why don't we build our own? It's literally us building our own. I literally have a studio in my house. I've turned one of the rooms in my house into a studio. I have a table. I have literally built my own studio. I help other people on the network create their own shows.
We landed an interview with an award-winning comic writer twice just because we had enough presence on Twitter.
Yeah. All right. So if you go, again, we're looking at a network. If you lose the idea of 3,400 downloads.
I'm getting mad now.
No, and this is why I got mad. I didn't
know all this.
If you use the idea of 3,400 downloads in 30 days is put you in the top 10% of shows, we have at least, because we're a network of podcasts, we have at least 2 shows, 2 podcasts themselves that are in top 10%. Everything else is probably in the top 15 or 20%. Every other show we have. The lowest numbers we do are sometimes on a review for like I think it was like Going in Style. Like nobody saw that movie, so nobody listened. But even then, those numbers, like let me see what the Going in Style numbers were, because that was a show, that was a movie that Phenom reviewed, and I don't think a lot of people are gonna go see that movie Going in Style. The one that had what's his name in it, Morgan Freeman in it.
I want to see that kind of. It looks fun.
Yeah, and it looks funny. He even said it looks funny, right? Again.
But it's just nice some comedy,
right? But it's not like a Fate of the Furious or Guardians of the Galaxy.
Clearly, it's not that important.
Yeah, it's not that, right? None of that. So and I literally don't really promote it that much. It's just Going in Style, right? It's just And again, these are movie reviews, and people aren't usually going to listen to movie reviews of movies they're not at least kind of interested in. That episode literally just it did 800 downloads.
That's not even 30 days old, is it?
No, it's not. I put it out on the 7th.
Jesus.
All right. That is
that's half of 30 days. That's 15 days.
Yeah, it's 800 episodes, 800 downloads. That is the extreme low end of our movie reviews, which are topical because again, most people are only going to listen to a movie review if you care about the movie. Now, a lot of people also just like hearing me and Phenom be jackasses sometimes. So there's that too. But like the reviews aren't really podcasts. They're literally us. Like I think that was like a 15-minute episode of us talk. Hey, do you like the movie? Okay, why'd you like the movie? Okay, talk about it. Okay, cool. That was it. All right. Now like work goes into that. 800 downloads on just on some. Oh, by the way, here's a movie you don't care about. All right. Like this is ridiculous. And I'm not saying this to like beat our chest, but it's like it's insulting that
it's not coming from a place of ego. It's coming from a reality.
It's coming from the idea that, and because we're gonna get into this later on, but some other people that have these platforms that you look at it like, how do you have a platform, but then whatever. But this goes back to the idea whenever you hear people go, well, shouldn't black people do this or shouldn't black people are doing this, and it's not even that we're not getting support. Because at some points we have these conversations going like, yeah, but if black podcasts ever really want to take off, man, we need more white listeners to really like put. Listen, man, you look at these numbers. White podcasts aren't doing these numbers. So, and again, I keep saying this. I know I have other podcast people I know personally that do better, way better than this, and we're already over the top. So why isn't anybody in that circle, getting the recognition they need when there are people that have less than that who are? Like, why is this hard to, at this point, forget the pre-podcast. Every single one of these podcasts, black podcasts now that is being literally funded and run by paid subscribers. Do you understand that? Before Rod did he went and just said, hey, I'm gonna do premium, and led the way for all the rest of us to really go, hey, we can do that. Like Rod was really the one made me go, wait, man, if Rod can do that, maybe it's not so far off, because we've been thinking about doing it and we were hoping to, because for the longest time, just like blogs, people would ask, well, how do you monetize this? How do you make money off of this? Like people have blogs, stuff like, I think we did it on the show one time. We talked about YouTube. All those YouTube stars that get millions of hits, but yet they're still working side jobs because they can't pay their bills.
Yeah.
Black Eye Tips, Where's My 40 Acres, Project Fandom, Thunder Apocalypse. I believe now they're doing it. The Black Option Us podcast, the MTR Network. That's 6 right there. 6 black podcasts I know of. They are all making enough money to fund their podcasting and more. Everything I do for the podcast, because again, this is a business to me. Everything I do is a business. Everything we do is paid for. When we go and we stay at hotels and we do these things, paid for by the fans that support us. Do you understand that before we all started doing this, before Rod really was the one that took the lead that did that, there would be people out there giving lectures and writing books and writing these 1,000 hit, in an hour articles and think pieces on how to monetize your podcast. And here's what you need to do. And most of you guys won't be able to pull this off, but I know 6 networks that are doing it and are fully funded by that. All of them by black people. How is it that nobody has come and gone, damn, wait, so you guys make money off you guys can pay and fund everything you do out of just off of your listener base? Do you understand? Like, again, this is not to brag. This is to show how when it's people of color doing something, even when we're the best at it, we don't get recognition for that. Yes, there are other podcasts out there, white podcasts that do also, get funded and stuff like that. And no, not saying they don't. But why is it that you never hear about the black podcasts that are literally doing that and are fine? Like, are literally businesses and literally fund everything they do off of that. This is where the anger comes at. It's not about ego. It's not about beating your chest and saying, we deserve more. It's like, we deserve more respect. Just like I felt like I left my job because I felt like I deserved more respect for the work I'm doing. I feel like I need people to respect what we're doing. And not just me, everyone that I know. Everyone I know that puts their heart and soul into being a podcaster, they work so fucking hard. And our fan bases support us off that because they understand that. And that is something that because again, I've done a lot of looking into and watching videos and seeing people talk about monetizing your hobby and doing this and doing that. We're doing everything that they say to do. And I talk about Gary Vaynerchuk all the time. And he's always talking about, hey, some of y'all just won't make it. I know, I know 6 podcast networks that all have. Do you understand how, like, every one of us that has started this and gone on a leap of faith and trusted their fan base to help support them took that step out there, and the fan base didn't let us down. Do you understand how rare that is? That is very, very rare. Why isn't anybody talking to any of us about how we did this? Just something to throw it out there. And like I said, it's just one of the things that really, really makes me mad. And when I really broke it down, and I wasn't going to talk too much about it, but when I really looked at it, and I just it goes back to that whole thing of, you can be the whole twice as good thing. At this point, we're talking 2, 3, 4, 10 times as good. All right? 141 downloads in 30 days. That's a joke. It's a joke to some of these podcasts out here. All right? And yet and still, when it comes time to do best of lists and things like that, and again, forget us. All right? Just some of the other shows I know. Like, go over to Project Fandom. I go to Project Fandom's website like once every 2 months because if I go in there any sooner, I get overwhelmed. Because what Nina's doing over there and the work they do over there and how much work she has over there for people, they cover everything. They cover every fucking thing. All right. And I remember when Nina went from her personal blog to Project Fandom. I remember seeing how much she's grown. To see what she's grown that network, that entire site into, it is frustrating that you don't see more attention given to what people do and how they've done it. And I think that needs to change. So there we go. That's it. Had to get that out of there, yo. So.
I didn't know any of this.
Yeah, most people don't. Like when I told Phenom what the average download numbers were, he was disgusted.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
It's disgusting because again, and I think this is one of the things that as black people we're so often told that we're not good enough or that we have to be perfect. Like so many times I didn't want to do something because I was like, well, no, I got to do a little bit better. We didn't apply for San Diego Comic-Con and New York Comic-Con for so long, even though we had been reviewing movies for so long, because I was like, there's no way we'll get in there. We always think of ourselves as a little podcast. Oh, we're just a little show. Right. We're just a little podcast. Then you look at the numbers, and you look at what the averages are, and you're like, wait a minute, these are average numbers? Wait, so that means we're top 10%? Wait a minute. What is like it's one of those things that sometimes I think we as black people just need that push, and we need people. We need to have that reality check so we know that we're not crazy and that we do deserve better and we do deserve what we get. And so yeah, like I got mad. Like Phenom got mad at first, and I was trying to hold her in the whole AwesomeCon thing. Like I'm glad that we can hopefully have our own live show and we can get the money for ourselves. But really think about what happened here. 2 years in a row, we went to AwesomeCon. We had a packed out panel. Mm-hmm. We applied this year and we get told they don't have room for us. And we can't, I'm sorry, we have too many other, like, we got treated like we didn't pack a room 2 years in a row. And mind you, that means packing a room of people, a lot of who were our fans, especially the second time, a lot of our fans, they paid the day price to come to AwesomeCon, which is like $40, just to come see us. Yep. We saw none of that money. And we packed a room. Then we come back the next year and we get told, "Sorry, we don't have room for you." It is insulting. And again, the first time I heard it, I was like, "Oh well, it's just what happens." But then more and more I thought about it, I was like, "Well, no, that's fucked up." Because they wouldn't treat anybody else that way, and we don't deserve to be treated this way either. So fuck it, no, we'll take it off site. We'll do it the same day. Same weekend as AwesomeCon, we'll take it somewhere else and we'll, have our own event and, go from there. And that works for that. But then when it comes to things like New York Comic Con, no, listen, we deserve to be in that room. And it's not about, hey, making your own stuff, because we can make our own con. Like, I think there's BlurredCon coming. Listen, I don't want to disparage that. I think that's a great idea. Think that in a few years AwesomeCon grew up into something huge. AwesomeCon's huge now. So BlurredCon can definitely blow up. But here's the thing. That first year of BlurredCon, you're not going to get WB in the room.
Nope.
Like, that's why Phenom and I deserve to have press pass at New York Comic Con, because, and not that we can just go and make our own. I can't make that. I literally got the content information for one of the VPs at WB at one point. I've interviewed Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. cast one-on-one, the Flash cast. I can't just, you can get that in another con if we made our own stuff, but it takes time to build up to that point. Right. They have a level of access that I deserve to have access to. And I'm going to be mad that I can't, if you deny me that when I've been there before and I have the quality of work to show for that. Like, it's insulting to make us come back every year and beg and crawl when we are doing above and beyond every time. And it's just, I'm saying this so that if you're out there with your own podcast and you're a person of color, don't let anybody tell you otherwise. Just do it. Like, and you deserve it, and you deserve the respect, and you deserve to, have the recognition. And don't let anybody tell you otherwise, because they will, and they're wrong. When like I said, we went to San Diego Comic Con last year. There were literally these white dudes who were impressed, who somehow had press passes. They were in the room drunk. They were in their costumes. They were drunk. I was like,
talking about that, yeah.
If we had ever done that, wouldn't be invited back in. Like, it's just that kind of shit that bothers me, and I don't think we can let slide. So, all right, enough of that heavy stuff. Let's move on to some more fun stuff. Actually, we're not gonna move on to some more fun stuff. This is.
I was about to say, what show is this?
No, we have some fun stuff to talk about, but this one's not fun. If you haven't listened, I don't know if it was the last show or the show before last. I know Rod did a show talking about a little bit about toxic masculinity, and so I'm not gonna. Thankfully, I don't have to get into stuff like that. Again, that's a great thing about having a show and having other podcast friends who do shows. There are certain topics I just don't have to cover. Yeah. But this one I did want to cover because I did see it and I thought it was fucking ridiculous, and it kind of goes into this whole toxic masculinity thing. It's an article on the Huffington Post, inside the online community of men who preach removing condoms without consent.
It's been nice being on the Insanity Check. I'll see y'all next time.
First of all, I'm a little upset by this headline that calls it an online community and not an online discussing ring of rapists. A new study explores the phenomena of stealthing, the purposeful, non-consensual removal of condoms during sex.
No.
I can't believe they even have a term for it.
They've developed their own language.
And how those who fall victim to their practice can move forward. The study written by Alexandria Brodsky from the Columbia Journal of Gender and Law features interviews from victims of stealthing. Brodsky also does a deep dive in the online world of men who feel entitled to bareback sex without their partner's consent, regardless of that partner's gender.
Nigga, what?
I got nothing else, man. I got nothing else.
No, Chris.
I got. This is, and again, she says it with, it goes beyond. Obviously, they're also talking about apparently gay men as well. They say, beyond, it's not just gender based. But let's be honest here. This probably mostly deals with men, heterosexual relationships and men doing this to women. Anytime I see it, this is why anytime I see an article or I have a Twitter argument with some guy trying to argue about, feminists and these male bashing. It's like, you know what? I treat it like how white people should treat black people complaining about white people and racism. If you're a man and you see a woman male bashing, you got to eat that shit because the horrible things that men do to women warranted. Just like
yes,
think about how many times have you seen that those memes and those tweets about how white people should be lucky that black people don't just get fed up one day and start killing them, and people just go, yeah, I get, man, you right, man, you lucky we not violent because we would deserve that and you guys would deserve us to do that, but you have people going there, right? Then you turn around and women can say the same thing about men. A woman goes, men are lucky that when they're at their most vulnerable, we don't just go and cut their dicks off. And guys would be like, whoa, this is ridiculous. What are you talking about? I was like, when you think about what men do to women, we deserve that shit.
Was it the old Louis C.K. stand-up where he's like, a woman going on a date with a man is the bravest thing in the world?
Yes.
Since there's so many things can happen, and most of them are terrible.
This is why I stopped talking about when I was when I do Hell No Cupid, I start talking about dating. Cause I would feel bad because I would like to crack jokes about how horrible it is for men to date, but I couldn't do it because every time I would do it, women would come in, you have no idea what it's like, and it would get mad because I'm like, I didn't want to talk about that, but at the same time I was like, oh, they got a fucking point though. Like you guys have it way worse.
It's our privilege that says we want to opt out of having that conversation.
Exactly, and I was like, oh well, you're fucking right.
That's
okay,
our privilege. Yeah.
I was like, all right, well, fuck it. All right, I guess we're talking about how horrible men are today. Then fuck it, gotta do it because it's like no matter what I complain about, like. The stuff I would complain about would pale in comparison of, yeah, my date tried to put a roofie in my drink. Well, conversation's over now. You win. Like, I can't compete with that. You're right. Like, men are terrible. Men do this kind of shit. Now you got this whole thing of stealthing. It's frequent enough.
I can't
they did a study on it. There's a word for it. And they did guess what this is? It's a study. The woman did a study on it. She did a study on it. It's a new study on the phenomena of stealthing. She did a study on it, and she interviewed victims of it, and then the men who do it. Like, we have no room to talk. We have no room to talk. And here's the thing. A lot of us have, myself included, have this in our back. Not clear as up. Not stealthing. Don't mean that. But I'm just saying
God, no.
the toxic. We have the toxic. Right. Yeah, I had to clear that up a little bit. The toxic masculinity, though, we all have that in our background. It's all there.
Oh yeah,
it's there. Like I am not preaching this from oh yeah, man. I'm not doing that thing that white liberals do, where it's like, oh yeah, white people are. Am I right? No, it's like, no, we are terrible. We have done this. We have said these things. You know, not gonna bring up the Serena Williams, because I know we'll probably talk about that tomorrow on the unanimous decision. But it's like same thing here. It's like, come on, yo. Like, no, we've all been in that category before of, if it's not with Serena, it was somebody else, and inserting ourselves as men and exerting this privilege. And a lot of it's because we didn't know. So now, at this point in 2017, you should know of your privilege. And a lot of us don't care. And it's no different than what white people do.
It's worse.
Mm-hmm.
Because we watch it happen to us. And instead of saying, oh, wait, let me learn and empathize and grow as a person, we say, no, let me flick this same horseshit on someone else that I perceive as lower than me.
Yeah, she has a whole entire study. Here's the abstract for the study. Non-consensual condom removal during sexual intercourse exposes victims to physical risk of pregnancy and disease, and interviews make it clear is experienced by many as a grave violation of dignity and autonomy. Such condom removal, properly known as stealthing, can't believe it has a fucking word, can be understood to transform consensual sex into non-consensual sex by one of two theories. One which poses a risk of over-criminalization by demanding complete transparency about reproductive capacity and sexually transmitted infections. Adopting the alternative, preferably theory of non-consent, this article considers possible criminal, tort, contract, and civil rights remedies currently available to victims. Ultimately, a new tort for stealthing is necessary both to provide victims with more viable cause of action and to reflect better the harms wrought by non-consensual condom removal. This is the kind of stuff that happens when you have men are being terrible. We do not get to complain about male bashing when shit like that goes on. And if you go, not me, not all men, you're fucking part of the problem. Just like those white people who go, not all white people, you're fucking part of the problem. Stop it. Because here's the thing. You probably have, even if you haven't done some of the specific things, you probably haven't confronted your boy who has done some of these specific things. Which makes you...
I have to ask something. How long does this study take?
I don't know how long they do this study for.
Oh, God. That means it's been going on for a while, is what I'm saying.
Well, here's the thing. I know it has, because we've heard about this before. Like, it's never been... I never heard the term stealthing before, but I've heard of guys doing this.
Really throwing me off.
I've heard of guys I've heard of guys bragging about this on Twitter. I've seen guys brag about this on Twitter before.
Oh, I have not.
Yeah. No, this is something that sadly has gone on. So yeah.
That's fucked. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into something a little bit more toned down. I want to talk some profiles and courage right now, and I think that'll cheer us up, because I think we kind of started a little heavy. Let's bring it back a little bit, get some some profiles and courage, and get some stuff going here. Here we go. Caitlyn Jenner took a stand against Donald Trump.
I hate you.
By turning down a recent invitation to play golf. When asked whether she's still a Trump Republican, Jenner says, here's the deal. Yes, I did vote for Trump, but here's the deal breaker with the Republican Party. And the deal breaker is you mess with my community. You don't give us equality and a fair shot. I'm coming after you. When it comes to all equality issues for the entire LGBT community, what we need is federal guidance. Just like the previous administration said that it was okay to serve as a trans person in the military, we have frontline people, okay? I'm talking Marines, trans guys on the front line fighting for our country. I'm trying to get, especially the Republican Party, to make a change. Diane Sawyer interrupts. You haven't talked to Trump secretly, privately? When I was at the inauguration, I did say hi at a cocktail party, and he wanted me to play golf with him. At the time, I thought it was a pretty good idea, but since Title IX, it's not a good idea. So I won't be playing golf with him. It doesn't get braver than Caitlyn Jenner, guys.
The audacity of this bitch.
Whoa, I'm just like, that is some courage. I was gonna play with them. Since Title IX, I thought it wasn't gonna be a good idea. Translation: Kris Jenner told me that it would probably be bad for my image. So, no, we're not gonna do that.
This bitch.
Here's
there's no word we can sit here all day. I have nothing to say about this. And this is that the fact that headline's not ironic is the craziest shit in the world. That's an Onion headline. But it's real life.
Here's the thing. I tend to avoid talking about Caitlyn Jenner a lot because the problem is when she first transitioned from Bruce, a lot of conversations, and even though there were some legit concerns, a lot of the conversations were rooted in just transphobia. Just were.
Oh, so majority of them were.
And they were. And so it was like, no, she has a dick. She can't be a man. She can't be a woman. It's just like, okay, listen, can't. Like, I would try to hear a conference like, okay, I hear what you're saying. She's she's transitioning from an older, middle-aged white male, so she can kind of carry she's been carrying some of that privilege with her and going on there. Like I was hearing, and then it would come like, yeah, she still has a dick. And I'm like, okay, you lost me. I can't. You almost had me, but you kind of, you lost me. But since then, I think that it's kind of calmed down a little bit and we can have this conversation. Yes, Caitlyn Jenner is still benefiting from white male privilege. Yeah. And she's been using that. And she's been sitting on the fence doing that. And it's been disgusting. Like, the audacity of her to sit here and go, well, I was a Trump Republican until I found out he's not really supporting gay marriage and gay rights. I'm like, he picked one of the most anti-gay governors or politicians we've ever had as his fucking vice president. Who the fuck did you think you were voting for?
She didn't give a shit.
She didn't give a shit because it didn't involve her. Now she sees it as a way.
It really doesn't.
It doesn't. You're right. You're right.
Because this is just an image move.
This is the kind of shit that comes from whole Jenner and Kardashian family of them. Everybody always doesn't believe them because they never feels genuine. And that's what this is coming from. This switch of hers to, well, no, I'm going to be fighting now for LGBT rights is because you've literally been dragged since you came out as a Trump voting Republican that you don't give a shit. Remember, beyond just this, she went on to Ellen's show and said she didn't support gay marriage. So then she has a new book coming out. Again, so her taking a stand and turning down golf with Trump also happened to coincide with her having a new book coming out.
Isn't that weird?
Weird how that works. Timing. It's just coincidence. So you had this article earlier in the week or last week. Caitlyn Jenner said she was alienated by Ellen DeGeneres over her stance over same-sex marriage. An excerpt from a new memoir, Jenner says she felt like she was alienated from the LGBT community after an interview in which DeGeneres said she was a little not on board with same-sex marriage. She writes, I believe as anyone would that was exactly what she wanted to talk about, my progression in terms of changing attitude over the years. I'm for it. I did not initially understand why marriage was so important, influenced no doubt by my own personal experience. Now I do, and it's a wonderful thing to see. Oh my God, you are killing me right now. Then you're trying to, you're blaming Ellen for alienating you, but you alienated half the community, most of the community you're in by saying you didn't support their right to get married. But at the same time, you're telling people to accept me for who I am, being a transgender woman. What the fuck are you talking about? You are out of your goddamn mind.
But she is the one who did this? Ellen didn't do that. Ellen just recorded and played your words back to people.
She just asked you a simple, what should be a throwaway question. You as a woman now transitioning from a man and saying that this is always who you've been, and she was going around. And again, I think it was brave. A lot of people coming out, it's not brave. I'm like, no, I still think it was. You can go with the privilege that Bruce Jenner had, and you can go with the privilege. Well, he was a white male. Now he's trained. You can go with all that if you want, but at the end of the day, what Caitlyn Jenner did was and is brave. For any transgender person, woman, man, or whatever, to come out and say, this is who I am, especially at that time, is brave in the story, all right? That's there. It's fine. But you don't get to do that, then also go, yeah, but those fags over there getting married? Fuck that. What the fuck is wrong with you? Which is basically what you did. And that is absurd. And it goes back to how ridiculous white people are. Like, I don't have a problem with Caitlyn Jenner and her being, a transgender woman. I don't give a shit about that. I have a problem with her being a privileged white woman. If anything, what Caitlyn Jenner is doing right now is peak white feminism. That's the greatest thing. That's the most ironic thing about this whole thing is what she's doing right now, peak white feminism.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm taking a stand against Trump after I voted for him and got him in office and gave him everything he needed. Now I'm taking a stand for him by refusing to play golf. And now I'm for gay marriage because, I have this book coming out right now and I feel like I've been alienated from the people I'm trying to make money off of. But I think it's a beautiful thing because I didn't really understand why marriage is such an important thing.
You should hear more about my transformation by reading my book.
Meanwhile, black trans women are fighting just to get recognized and accepted and getting their stories covered when they're attacked and killed and facing violence and all this other. But here's Caitlyn Jenner being an asshole. Like, profiles and courage, guys. I also want you guys to know she did this whole interview while drinking a Pepsi. So, just amazing. So just throw that out there. So, all right, next story. And Deepop's really gonna hate me for this one.
Oh, good. It's getting worse.
We're now getting into the worst parts of the show. Guys, I need you guys to do me a favor, and please respect Alex Jones's privacy. Okay.
I can have fun with this one.
He's going through a child custody case right now, and he's asking everybody to kind of respect his privacy and to stop covering it so much. And I think I kind of agree with him that it's just kind of wrong. And I know a lot of you guys are probably asking who Alex Jones is. So let me play some clips for you.
I'm not a crazy man. Let me tell you something. And so I will admit it here. I am insane. Lies! Lies! No more lies! Lies! Lies, 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 lies!
Please respect this man's privacy, guys. Alex Jones from Infowars.com. Apparently, I didn't know this, but some people apparently knew of Alex Jones from his 9/11 conspiracies, which it just goes back to prove why I always thought 9/11 conspiracies were ridiculous and stupid, and I never believed any of them. They spawned things like Alex Jones.
Yep.
Here's some of the crazier things that these are some crazy Alex Jones conspiracies he's had. Let's see. Satanists are taking over America. To Alex Jones, the coming new world order is a demonic high-tech tyranny formed by Satanist elites who are manufacturing economic and health crises and are using selective breeding to create a supreme race.
All right. That was not too far off. What else you got?
Bill Gates is a eugenicist trying to wipe out minorities.
Interesting. All right. Not necessarily backable or basic reality, but that's not that crazy, is it?
No. Okay. The government's controlling the weather.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. I mean, come on, guys.
Wait a second. We've had one rainy Super Bowl. Come on, guys.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just saying. Come on. Here's my favorite. I'm gonna play this one. This is Pizzagate. If you don't remember, Hillary Clinton is running a child sex ring out of a DC area pizza restaurant.
Evil people. is they go after our children. And history shows that every major elite in history, once it became corrupt, set up a priesthood that sacrificed children to dark gods. And that is still going on today. Now, I want to be clear. Not everybody in the WikiLeaks is involved in this, clearly. You have to go investigate it for yourself. But I will warn you, this story that's been the biggest thing on the internet for several weeks, Pizzagate, as it's called, is a rabbit hole that is horrifying to go down. Now, if you're a radio listener, this is a powerful video, but I've had it reposted because, again, he finished it, I guess, on Wednesday. It went out Thursday on the Nightly News that was taped the day before. This is on Infowars.com. Pizzagate is real. The only question is, what exactly is it? Because I'd said, man, I hope this is drug dealing code word or something, or, you know, maybe they got the wrong manual because this is the FBI says this is pedophilia manuals. These are the terms they use. And then here's the New York Times. Fake news onslaught targets pizzeria as nest of child traffickers. Hey, I don't know why the pizzeria and the one down the street have symbols in the FBI dossier. I don't know why there's devil worship art on the walls. I don't know why it's connected to Bethesda. I don't know why they got rock singers there talking about, you know, going after kids or whatever. This is what's going on, though. And so maybe it's just some genre they picked up. They don't know what they're involved in. I'm not accusing them of anything. It's not like they look like little piggy people or anything. It's not like they fit all the cliches or anything when you go to the...
He goes on for another 6 minutes, guys.
Like, he's one of those things that, like, I know is a thing, but my exposure to him is very limited. So I just get, like, when he cracks into, like, not crazy places, and people point out how crazy he is, like the Sandy Hook shit. Like, that's the only reason I really know him. That's a crazy person.
Oh, I love the videos of him always with his shirt off. He always ends up with his shirt off. There's one I was trying to get an image of with him with the 2 black gloves on, and he's got his shirt off, and he looks like he's in a dark hole somewhere. Like, man's fucking out of his goddamn mind. Okay, guys.
So he is crazy, but he's provided us with a lot of great file photos of him. Like, every story about him has one of those insane pictures of him.
Yes, they're cool. Okay, we have more, though. We have more. The government's complicit in countless terrorist and lone gunman attacks. He believes that Sandy Hook was a hoax. Let's see. He claims the Boston Marathon bombing was an inside job. He said a Sandy Hook elementary school shooting was a hoax that involved child actors. Jones also said Jared Letourneau, who killed 6 people and wounded Gabriel Giffords in 2011, was a staged mind control operation. The government employs these geometric psychological warfare experts that know exactly how to indirectly manipulate unstable people through the media. They implanted the idea in his head, but repeatedly asking, "Is Giffords in danger?" In 2016, the Brussels attack and the that's the end of his thing. So in 2016, he said the Brussels attack and the Polish shooting in Orlando were false flags operations. Yeah.
This guy's scum.
He believes millions of undocumented immigrants illegally voted in an election. Well, so does the guy in the White House. So there's that. There's that. Let me see. I have another article here that has this is really fun. Let's see, who is this? This is from Media Matters, and it has 104. I'm going to read all of these, but it has 104 typical headlines from Infowars.com. This is why anytime somebody sends me a link to something, like, do you know how many times during the election someone would try to send me a link to something from Infowars, and I'd be like, "Are you out of your goddamn mind?" Infowars makes Brett Bart look like a Pulitzer Prize winning outlet. Like, yes. Yeah. Here are some of the headlines from Infowars. Let's see. 9/11. CIA likely built remote control commercial jets in aircraft boneyard.
Wow.
Let's see. These are all. Let me try to get past these. CIA to run second presidential debate. Will Anderson Cooper show bias as debate moderator? SEAL Team 6 crash in 2011 was an inside job. Massive cover-up. Retired FBI agent investigates Sandy Hook. Retired Navy SEAL says Sandy Hook doesn't add up.
What are they supposed to mean?
Oh, here's a good one. Feminism is designed to end humanity. Oh, there's a video here. I gotta find this video. Hold on.
I hate you.
This. I gotta play this.
You can get it out.
I can't. This is designed to end. Oh my god! It auto-filled in the YouTube.
Of course it did.
It's on the Alex Jones channel.
One of his greatest hits.
Okay.
With Trump set to speak outside Milwaukee tomorrow, we have major Western governments run by the same foundations that I just mentioned openly financing media operations against those that warn of the invasion of radical Islam. We're going to be breaking that down today.
I'll get to the feminism part.
And then they tell us the latest clips that are simply amazing. There's one lady on tape saying, "Hey, idiots, don't burn down our neighborhoods. Go burn down the suburbs."
Okay, I can't do this. But anyway, so he has that article.
I need to take another shower after this podcast. Thank you very much, because you're supposed to meet a lot of Alex Jones today.
Yeah. Real women don't need feminism. Feminism destroys society. Why does popular culture glorify being a pussy? Why is depression glorified and fetishized?
Yo, I want Can we talk about the case that's going to make fun of this motherfucker?
Obama caught running ISIS. NATO uses ISIS to geopolitically isolate Russia. All right, so yeah, no. So to get what Deepon really wants to get to, I had to set this all up because I need you to see how much of a fucking crazy person Alex Jones is, right? But like I said, he's going through a court case right now. So here he's going through, and this is why he put that statement out asking for privacy and at his time of need. But here's a headline. Alex Jones forgot key facts about his own kids and blamed it on eating a bowl of chili. Kelly Jones' attorney asked Alex Jones in a deposition says that Alex Jones in a deposition drew blanks on the facts about his kids after eating a big bowl of chili.
I love that you say it and you read it and it's the exact same thing. There's no further explanation. There's no deeper meaning.
No.
I make really good chili. Yeah. I've never made amnesia chili. He
apparently forgot the information he forgot was the names of his kids' teachers, and he literally blamed it because he just eaten some chili.
How old are the kids?
I can't remember how old they are. I don't have.
If it's younger than high school, you should know your kids' teachers' names.
Let's see. So
once you get a teenager, I can see them stop talking to your ass.
So BuzzFeed has an article. Here's a rundown of Alex Jones' surreal testimony in court today. Starts apparently during the cross-examination of his 10-day custody trial began today with an unusual question. Have you had any chili this morning? You haven't had any chili this morning, have you, Mr. Jones? Is that a serious question, Jones shot back?
So I'm following a lot of the reporters who are following this on Twitter, and they've put a gag order so you can't tweet inside the courtroom. So people are writing things on paper and then walking out and tweeting them.
Yes.
And apparently it's just roasting Alex Jones session for these attorneys. For both sides.
Yeah, it's great. The question was in reference to Jones's March 4th deposition, in which the 43-year-old radio and TV personality was unable to recall the names of the children's teachers after eating a big bowl of chili. It is one of a series of surreal moments that have dominated the early days of Jones's custody trial. While the custody case is at its core about the Jones' 3 children, national media attention has been thrust over the case over a defense laid out by Jones's lawyers in the jury selection. That Alex Jones's most offensive and provocative rants may be performance art or political satire.
Wait a second. So what you're telling me is that their defense is it's all a joke? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes.
It's all a fucking joke because telling the parents at Sandy Hook that their kids aren't dead, not a funny joke. Explain that one to me. Explain the punchline.
This is
Claiming that Barack Obama is running ISIS. I must not have gotten the joke.
Oh no, because you're just not funny enough, Deepon. That's what it is.
It's not. Is it an inflection thing? Because I think I read those jokes. Maybe it's a delivery.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to. No, I don't. I've heard enough Alex Jones today for the rest of my fucking life.
While on the stand, Jones compares himself to John Oliver and Stephen Colbert. Don't you fucking dare! All right, keep their names out of your fucking mouth. And point out in frustration that Colbert had accused him this week of being a performance artist and fraud. Oh, yeah, there we go. That's it. Jones testified that InfoWars, his company which traffics in conspiracy theories, libertarian punditry, and some satirical skits, is 90% hard news. At issue was whether Jones brought his work home with him into his family life. Jones testified that it does not. I do not want to think about it about work when I get home. I just want to be with the kids, swim in the pool, and eat hamburgers. During cross-examination, Jones' personal life was questioned aggressively by his ex-wife Kelly Jones' attorney. The subject of Jones' alcohol and drug use came up. Jones said he sometimes smokes marijuana nearly yearly to monitor its strength, which is how law enforcement does it. He then added that he tested it because he believes it is now too strong, a development he blamed on billionaire and political donor George Soros, whom he claimed in court has brain damaged a lot of people.
Yo, that's the whitest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Because it would never, ever, ever cross my mind. It's like, sir, why'd you do these drugs? Well, I was making sure they weren't too strong for the kids. What? He's a philanthropic drug user? He's smoking pot to save lives, Chris. This is some shit that no one, Method Man's at home right now like, I could have been a superhero. Like, what?
I'm smoking pot.
Wiz Khalifa was Batman? What are you talking about? Black and yellow, he told us.
I smoke so you don't have to.
Chris.
This is amazing.
Oh. Why'd you get drunk last night? I had to make sure the whiskey didn't go bad.
Right. Somebody's got to drink it.
For you.
Hell, if I didn't drink it, you would have drank it, and then you'd have this massive hangover I have.
Then where would we be?
Jones addressed his marijuana use last February on the popular Joe Rogan podcast, noting that it was legal in California where the show was taped, and that everybody smokes marijuana on that show. So basically, he dry snitched on everybody else.
Yo, like, Evan Rogan's like, hey, the fuck?
Yo, Alex Jones is literally the dude who he doesn't puff past.
He joked for like 2 months.
He doesn't puff past. He's like, yo, I'm doing this for you. You don't need this. On the subject of alcohol use, Jones said his intake varies, but that he is not intoxicated around his children and rarely ever drunk. When shown clips of him outside the Capitol building before the inauguration looking intoxicated, Jones suggested that he was not, and that he is not getting intoxicated on the set of his show. Sometimes I'll have a drink every day, then other times I'll go for it without go without it for months. Here's the thing, dude. I would really hope that you are drinking while you're doing the show. Because
these are the rants of a sober man?
Please don't let these be the rants.
Wait a second. No. That's the most damaging thing he's given to himself so far. Oh, no, I'm sober when I say all that shit. Oh, you're never seeing children.
Right. The details of Jones' sex life came up as well. Kelly Jones' attorney suggested
I don't want to know this.
In his March deposition, Alex said that he had sex with another woman while engaged to his current wife. Jones disputed that claim, noting that sexual relationship was prior to being engaged. Ultimately, there was confusion with the dates in the lineup. The question was dropped. I have to go see a calendar. Let's see if we get some more stuff. Let's see. Jones appears to be aggravated by the media coverage of the trial. During one break in the proceedings, Jones walked past a corral of reporters in the hallway, muttering, "A lot of famous fiction writers out here." Were you looking at a camera at yourself in the mirror? What's going on here? Part of Jones' frustration appears to be that he is unable to respond to reports in the news, a staple of Jones' radio program and numerous InfoWars daily YouTube videos. All parties and lawyers in the trial are under a gag order not to speak to the press. Though there is speculation that Jones could have violated the order with at least 2 videos he has posted addressing his performance arts claims. "I am completely real and everybody knows it," he said in one video posted Tuesday morning. as he was driving to the courthouse. So wait, so you're in court claiming that you're a performance artist, then you literally go that day and you do a video that says, "Nah, I'm completely real."
This is the rapper who puts out the mixtape, like, tells you how hard he is. If he gets arrested, no, sir, that never happened. No, those were lyrics. I'm an artist. I'm the realest shit you ever wrote. No, sir, I'm an artist. That is my craft. This motherfucker.
Oh, God.
This is the rap playbook. He's a rapper.
Oh my God. This is the article titles, the article headlines on these things too. Like the media is finally getting their pound of flesh from him. The Washington Post has this headline: Sandy Hook truther Alex Jones asked for privacy in custody battle for sake of my children. Think of that headline: Sandy Hook truther Alex Jones asked for privacy in custody battle for the sake of his children.
I have enjoyed the shade that major outlets have been throwing him in their headlines.
Oh, here's his full statement. My statement regarding the media and my ongoing custody trial. Above all, this is a private matter. This is about my family and only my family. I have endeavored very faithfully for 3 years to keep this circumstance confidential for the sake of my children to protect their innocence. I urge the press to be respectful and responsible, to show due deference to the process of law and respect the boundaries defined for this case so that a fair result can be found. As there is a gag/protective order on the trial for the safety, welfare, and preservation of our children's private rights and what is in the best interest, I am holding my response until the end of the trial. What a hypocrite. What a fucking hypocrite. Just a massive, unbelievable hypocrite. And apparently his wife's lawyer and they're hitting him on, they believe he's basically indoctrinating the children in the info world culture, and she wants nothing to do with it. She wants nothing to do with it. Like, what an asshole.
At the same time, she married Alex Jones.
Yeah, like
I can only feel so bad.
Yeah, no. You did this. You did part of this yourself. And what kills me about this, and it goes back to the original rant we were having again about black podcasts needing to get results. According to our Forbes piece in 2013, Jones' syndicated radio show, YouTube channel, and documentaries netted revenue of about $1.5 million per year. Enough to support staff of 15 and enable him to buy an $800,000 house and a 6,700 square foot studio. This is why I did the little rant at the beginning of the podcast. This asshole was peddling bullshit and is literally out here contradicting himself.
Wait, I don't want to involve him. He continues to.
Huh?
He used to peddle admitted bullshit.
Oh, yeah. Continues to. Because he's going to, once the gag over is done, he's going to come back in and say, I basically said all that shit just to get through. He's already come out.
Start a perjury trial afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Just throwing it out there. What an asshole. Yes. What an asshole. So, yeah, but guys, please just respect, Alex Jones' privacy. Think of the kids. Not the kids that died in Sandy Hook, but think of the kids. His kids and only his kids, because that's all that matters to Alex Jones.
You know what, honestly, and I'm not supposed to say this shit, I don't feel bad for them kids.
Yeah, I don't feel bad for any of them.
Because it's not our fault. It's their daddy's fault.
Yeah, I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad at all. Sorry.
I'm going to talk about your daddy.
Yeah, sorry. No.
Look, man, blame him.
So, all right. Speaking of other things, let's just get right into this next thing. See if I can play this. Oh, is it going to play it? Oh, of course, it's going to try to play a video before. What are you doing? Go back. Oh my god. So before we started this, I had these things set up and everything was fine, and then all of a sudden now we're trying to. What are we doing here? I just want to play the video. I want to play the video that we just had open. We're not going to do that here. Anyway, I'll play this later. I basically just have this to say, Keith Ellison needs to keep Obama's name the fuck out of his mouth.
God damn it, Keith.
keep Obama's name out of your fucking mouth. Basically, Keith Ellison, who, for the record, is not the DNC chairman, deputy chairman. All right, whatever the fuck. Because basically, at this point, we're now giving out consolation prizes to people who don't win, thanks to Bernie. He has something to say about Obama. Let me see if we can play this. Oh my God, why are we all of a sudden acting weird now? He's basically blaming Obama for for Democrats' problems. And I'm gonna play this in a second, as soon as like everything was working a second ago, and now everything's crashing. And this is why I really want to get to the point where I can do all this stuff from my laptop, and we don't have to worry about any of this shit.
Was President Obama responsible for some of the failures of 2016, and if so, how?
Yeah, he was. And I'm a great fan of the President Obama. I'm totally voted for many things that he supported. Dodd-Frank, Affordable Care Act, Lilly Ledbetter Fair Pay Act. I can keep going. Wonderful achievements. But Barack Obama could have been a better party leader. And I think that the fact that he wasn't has put his legacy in jeopardy. I mean, your legacy is not a building that he's going to construct in Chicago housing his presidential papers. His legacy is the work that he has done, which I believe is tremendous. But given that we did not, we lost a lot of state house seats, governorships, secretaries of states, his true legacy is in danger. And I think that he can't say that he wasn't part of those losses. I mean, who else? Right?
So, Representative, what?
Like I said, Keith Ellison, keep Obama's name out your fucking mouth. This shit made me so fucking mad.
Who the fuck is Keith Ellison talking about Barack Obama? Who the fuck do you think he is?
That's number one. Number two, I'm tired of this shit. You want to know why I'm tired of this shit? Because what Keith Ellison is doing is following the Bernie playbook, which is blaming black people for shit, while trying to play to a white liberal base that didn't do what it needed to do to begin with. All right, I'm reading. Here's an article from May 2012. All right, do House Democrats want Obama to campaign for them? It may well seem that some House Democrats are at least in terms of how he affects, who's afraid of big bad of Barack Obama. It may well be that some House Democrats are, at least in terms of how he affects their reelection prospects. Democrats are more scared about appearing with Obama than Republicans are with Romney, top GOPers say. It's a charge that the Democrats' top House campaigner didn't deny. What people are doing right now is trying to redefine history because President Barack Obama is so popular on such a popular term. In 2010, 2012, and 2014, House and Senate Democrats did not want to be seen with Barack Obama and campaign with him. After, we hear now how much Democrats love Obamacare and how they're going to fight for that. Democrats did not fight for Obamacare.
They ran from this dude.
They ran from. So when Keith Ellison says that
in my lifetime,
you said what now?
They ran from the most popular president in my lifetime.
When Keith Ellison says that that Obama is partly to blame for this and removes the fact that Democrats did not want to be seen with people ran against him. Democrats ran for him like Republicans ran from Bush in 2006. But Republicans only did it in his second term. Democrats came home to Obama in his second term when he ended up winning in 2012 without them. Because Democrats did not want to be seen with him. When you see how hard Obama campaigned for people and for Hillary in 2016, he didn't do that before because why? People didn't want him to. People didn't want him to.
Right.
All right. So to sit here and go, oh well, he's partly to blame because he didn't do it. Here's an ad. Allison Grimes, who apparently is a Democrat. I don't know if she won or not, but her ad is literally, "I'm not Barack Obama."
Mitch McConnell wants you to think I'm Barack Obama. Mitch was the same guy who thought Duke basketball players were UK, or who's attacking me on coal. after doing next to nothing while we've lost thousands of coal jobs. He even said it's not his job to bring jobs to Kentucky.
I'm not Barack Obama. I disagree with him on guns, coal, and the EPA. And Mitch, that's not how you hold a gun. I'm Allison Lundergan Grimes, and I approve this message.
But Obama's to blame for Democrats losing all those seats. This is something that. Oh yeah.
She did all that shit and lost that race.
Yeah. But you have the audacity to say that Barack Obama owes some responsibility for.
Barack Obama, he know what he owes? Holding his bag while his wife shops on all these trips they're taking. That's what he owes.
He owes
kept her in the house for 8 years. He's doing his duty right now, taking these trips and living his best life. Do you, Barack?
He would be he's only owed to be an Instagram husband, as I saw before.
He is holding bags for the next 10 years. No complaints.
For all the talk of conservative discontent with Mitt Romney, I know not one Republican candidate who would not appear publicly with Mitt Romney. And I know many Democrats who do not even want to be in the same city forget the same stage with President Obama. National Republican Committee, Congressional Committee Chairman Pete Sessions of Texas said Wednesday morning. He added that there were Democratic House members he added that there were Democratic House members should all be asked if they would appear with Obama. You will be shocked by the response. He said, it will not be 100%.
Even Republicans thought the shit was stupid.
So let me get this straight. You ran from the black guy, got wiped out, even though he won. Remember, Obama still wiped out Mitt Romney.
He did win.
All right. Ran from him, and now you have somebody like Keith Ellison who lost, but because Democrats are being stupid and catering to Bernie, he lost, but still failed upwards, is now trying to say that Obama was a failed party leader because the racist white people who are completely liberal and progressive didn't want to stand behind him until he proved that he didn't fucking need them. Go fuck yourself. Get the fuck out of here. What the fuck's wrong with you? What the fuck? Like that shit made me so fucking mad because it's literally the same thing that you would hear Joe Scarborough say. He's always saying, "Oh well, Barack Obama was terrible for the Democrats because they got wiped out underneath him." It's like they got wiped out because they didn't. Obama in 2012 doubled down on Obamacare and was backing Obamacare. Every single just about every single Democrat that was running at that time ran away from it. Have an ad right here from this woman trying to say, I'm not a Barack Obama. Didn't win.
That's why Democrats lose so often because they're fucking spineless.
Fucking spineless. All right? Which leads me to my next thing. Bernie Sanders is a goddamn hypocrite, and I need the DNC to stop following him.
He's a Trojan asshole. What is going on here?
I think this week has finally exposed. He should have been exposed, but if this is the nail in Bernie Sanders' coffin, I don't know what is. If after this you are still supporting Bernie Sanders, I gotta ask, what the fuck are you really about? All right. So on Tuesday, John Ossoff was in Georgia. He didn't win enough to completely win outright. He got 48% of the vote, so he's going to go into a runoff. Bernie comes out and it's like, oh well, I can't really say if John Ossoff if I support him if he's progressive enough for me, right? Because again, remember, Bernie Sanders' whole thing is, you got to meet certain criteria to be progressive enough. He didn't think
Bernie Sanders litmus test.
Mm-hmm.
Which is how the fuck did we get here?
Yeah. Let me see if I can remember this. Yeah. Like Bernie has suggested in time, like this is from early in January, that Hillary Clinton wasn't progressive. Vermont Senator questioned the claim on Tuesday whether, while campaigning in Keene, New Hampshire, when asked by a reporter if Clinton is a true progressive, Sanders said, "Some days yes, except when she announces that she's a proud moderate, then I guess she's not a progressive. I think, frankly, it's hard to be a real progressive and take on the establishment in a way that I think it has to be taken on when you come as dependent as she is through her super PAC and other ways on Wall Street and drug company money, right? So that's Bernie Sanders, and he's hard line on what it is to be a progressive, all right? Wall Street, PAC money, outside money, doesn't, can't be, that's not right. Here's an article on NPR. Bernie Sanders defends campaigning for anti-abortion rights Democrat. Senator Bernie Sanders is campaigning for Omaha, Nebraska mayoral candidate Heath Mello Thursday night, and he's not apologizing for it. Absolutely not want him to win, Sanders told NPR Thursday after a rally in Grand Prairie, Texas. The Thursday event with Mello, a Nebraska state senator who is running as a Democrat in a mayoral race, is one of several rallies Sanders is holding across the country this week. It's part of the the Democratic National Committee's Organized Unity Tour with the DNC chair Tom Perez, who, by the way, at one of these tours, Bernie Sanders mentioned Tom Perez. Perez gets booed. Bernie doesn't defend him. The GOP tweeted that out on their official account.
Yeah, he's a GOP operative
with the hashtag unity. Here's the thing. Mello has co-sponsored several bills in Nebraska's legislature that would restrict abortion rights, including a 2009 measure requiring doctors to inform women seeking abortions of the availability of an ultrasound. Sanders pushed back against the criticism. The truth is that in some conservative states, there will be candidates that are popular candidates who may not agree with me on every issue. I understand it. That's what politics is about. That right there exposes Bernie Sanders for a fraud, and anybody who's still making excuses for him, you're a fucking fraud too. Because this is the exact same argument so many of us made for Hillary Clinton. Like, listen, she might not be everything you want, but it's better than the alternative, so let's go with it. And you all told us no. You told us that in order to be a progressive, you have to do these things. That's it. You drew a line in the sand, and it was Bernie or bust. Bernie Sanders is here saying, the line only counts when I make it. Here's the thing. In principle, Sanders is right. I think Mello that's a horrible thing for reproductive rights. But if he's the only candidate the Democrats have in the race, fuck it. It might be better than nothing, right? But Bernie Sanders can't make that argument because it's literally the opposite of the argument he made for the last 2 years. It's the opposite of the articles we saw from people like Sean King and the tearful lies from Killer Mike. Like, these are all the things you guys said we couldn't do. Hillary Clinton wasn't progressive, so you can't vote for her because she's not a progressive enough. But it doesn't seem like the progressiveness matters when it's reproductive rights. It doesn't seem to matter when it's specifically things for black and brown people. It only seems to matter when it's the economy, when it's Wall Street, or when it's something that Bernie Sanders himself has approved of. That is bullshit. The DNC follows Bernie Sanders down this. They're losing in 2018 and they're losing in 2020.
It's fumbling in the open field. Like, you got the worst person in the world as the face of the party, and you decide to fumble by following a non-Democrat. He never.
He's still out there saying he's not a Democrat. So why are Democrats still following a guy?
Whose claim to fame is I'm not a Democrat. What are you doing?
Whose main focus
I'm
on
not
this?
One of them. Well, we want to be like him. Fuck you.
Whose main focus on this unity tour is talking about how Trump voters aren't racist. About how we need the white working class. I want black. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna say, email me if you're a black Bernie supporter still. I want to know why. I want to know how any of this. I want to know how any of this shit makes sense. I want to know how him focusing on white working class voters who we know are racist. They voted for Trump. They're racist. How is that okay? How is him saying? I literally had people saying this week to me. It's like, I'm like, hey, listen, black women voted overwhelmingly for Hillary Clinton. They're the only ones. They're the strongest base they are the base of the Democratic Party. They are the most loyal people in the Democratic Party. How is the DNC not catering to them? The only people in this country that by far tried to stop the apocalypse. How? People go, well, they're the base of the Republic. If Democrats already have them, then we don't need to cater to them. That's literally the argument you all made about Hillary Clinton and the black community. You said that she's just pandering us and that she would forget us and she just wants our votes. She would take our votes for granted. That is what you're saying when you say that. You are
doing the opposite, taking it for granted.
Everything that you said you hated about Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders is doing right now, and you're making excuses for it. Everything we told you he was doing, he's making excuses for it. Why? Why? This doesn't make any fucking sense. Hey, I'm all for it. Hey, listen, Tim Kaine is pro-choice. I mean, pro-life. He's pro-life, but he's not anti-choice, which is a difference here. All right. But I get that sometimes you have differing views when it comes to moving to the left, moving the entire party to the left. I get that. And I get that if you're in a red state, you're going to have to make deals with it. Here's the thing. Listen, Joe Manchin, he's not really a Democrat. He's definitely not a left Democrat. But he's probably the only kind of Democrat that's ever going to win West fucking Virginia. You're never going to get a truly liberal West Virginia. You're never going to get a truly liberal Democrat winning West Virginia. All right? So I get it. I tolerate Joe Manchin. But if you're using the same logic that Bernie Sanders used and that his followers use against Hillary Clinton, how the fuck is Bernie Sanders not out there attacking Joe Manchin every day instead of working with him? How? Because here's the thing. The only thing I'm starting to notice here, the only difference I see here is he's not a woman. So I started to think that maybe you have a problem with women because you're not using the same logic you use because other people. What's the Hawaiian representative that backed Bernie? I can't remember her fucking name. Who somehow doesn't think that Assad was behind chemical weapons attack?
I know you're talking about. I forget. Her name escapes me.
Yeah. Somehow Bernie doesn't say anything about that though, but that's okay. She's a progressive because she supports him on the economy and other. Do you see why I'm so?
With Bernie, you're progressive. If you don't, you're not. And he can't be the line. He doesn't even go here. So
you're telling me that again? So many people are telling me, well, you can't be progressive if you take money from Wall Street. Like, let me see if I can get that one line. Let me see. Let me see if I can find this. Yeah, here we go. I remember covering this back in November. Bernie Sanders. It is not good enough for someone to say, I'm a woman, vote for me. That's not good enough. We need women. We need women who are going to have the guts to stand up to Wall Street and to the insurance company. He said this to a Latina girl who was asking him, we need a woman who's going to stand up to Wall Street, to the insurance companies, to the drug companies, to fossil fuel industry. But not somebody who's pro-choice, apparently. Not someone who is a defender of women and reproductive rights, apparently. Apparently, in Bernie Sanders' Progressive Party, you can be anti-choice, you can be against women's reproductive rights, but that's okay as long as you're against Wall Street. Here's a clue, guy. That's not progressive Democrats. That's not the Progressive Party that anybody wants. It's not. And if it is, guess what? Go form your own fucking party.
Right.
I'm just, how at this point do you not call Bernie Sanders a fraud? Because he's drawn a line into what it is to be progressive, and people go, oh, well, he's the one there. Here's the thing. He's not even doing any work. I heard somebody tell me, well, he's out there fighting for universal health care. You're not getting universal health care under Trump and this Republican Party. You're not. You're not. He's out here debating Ted Cruz out of all fucking people on CNN for a town hall which happens to coincide with him also having a book tour and book deal.
Is that weird?
Weird how that works, right? He's over here debating him about universal health care while Democrats are trying to hold the floor to keep the Republican Party from gutting Obamacare. So while they're doing real work, Bernie Sanders is having a town hall debate on CNN with Ted Cruz. Okay, who's really doing work here?
Right.
Who's really doing work here? It's almost like Bernie Sanders is not doing any actual work, is doing what mediocre white dudes always do, and is coming and swooping in the last minute. Here's the thing. If Ossoff had flat out won on Tuesday, you goddamn right Bernie Sanders would have endorsed him and then taken credit for it.
I can't wait to vote for Ossoff in the runoff. I can't wait.
I think...
Actually win that motherfucker, man.
Yeah, I hope so. And here's the thing. I think Tom Perez finally got the note because he was getting roasted on Twitter and eventually came back out to kind of reaffirm the fact that the DNC is behind women's reproductive rights because the noise is making it. The
DNC shouldn't have to say that in 2017.
Shouldn't have to. The fact that you have Donald Trump as a president and the DNC chairman had to come out and say that because
that's literally normalizing that asshole.
Because you're following Bernie Sanders off a fucking cliff. And you're going after voters that you're never really going to win. You're not going to win those Trump voters. And if you do, here's the other thing too. And the thing that makes me so mad. People go, well, shouldn't we want to get those voters in here? No, because those voters are not progressive and liberal. You can't tell me you want a more progressive Democratic Party when you're trying to bring in racist Trump voters. How is that going to make that party more progressive and liberal? Hey, yeah, sure. I can't even. Bernie's all about, universal health care, but how are we talking about universal health care when you're literally over here backing a candidate who is iffy on women's reproductive rights? You don't get universal health care without women's reproductive rights.
Right.
Just like you don't get to address income inequality if you're not going to talk about income equality and infusing income and infusing things into the directly into communities that are affected. That means you need to be able to sell things like reparations. And I'm not saying just writing a check to people, but reparations goes so far beyond just writing a check. Bernie's not for reparations because why? It's divisive. What he means is he can't sell that to his white fan base.
Right.
Which means, again, for people who are going, well, I'm not really for reparations and Barack Obama wasn't for reparations. Think beyond just reparations. That means if you're talking about programs that are directly aimed at, say, minority-based community, minority-strong communities, Bernie Sanders isn't really for that because he can't sell it to the white working class voters in Trump country. That means we're facing with, and I'm so mad we're still talking about this shit. This is shit that we've been saying for 2 fucking years with Bernie Sanders. That means Bernie Sanders is pushing an idea that he'll do what he can for the white working class and the rest of us will get it trickled down. He is preaching trickle down economics, guys.
Yep.
We'll get it to the white working class and it should get to everybody else because a rising tide floats all boats. And that is so not fucking true.
That's assuming your boats start on an equal level, you asshole. It's so frustrating.
I'm frustrated because I'm more frustrated when I see black people are still buying and eating up this shit. Like, what? Here he is now out here. He's contradicting this stuff. Like, hey, listen, if Bernie's, and I don't believe in this. I don't believe in being a rigid progressive, meaning that, hey, you got to do this. I don't believe in litmus tests for this stuff. Because I understand that sometimes we can't. I understand that sometimes, in war, strange bedfellows, right? Which means, hey, listen, that might mean that this Heath Mello guy might need to win the mayorship in this town, so we start building up the Democratic Party from the ground up. That might mean we need to do that. All right. People forget the reason why. Rewriting history. In 2008, when people say that we could have gotten universal health care because Barack Obama had 60 votes in the Senate, they seem to forget that some of those 60 votes were blue dog Democrats, like the Democrat that fucking Bernie Sanders is supporting right now, who weren't true progressives. They were basically, Democrat lights who it turned the state blue, but these are people that could also vote for, Republicans and side Republicans. I think it's, was it Joe Manchin? I think Joe Manchin. Yeah, Joe Manchin sided with Republicans last year to defund Planned Parenthood.
Yep.
But the reason why we have Joe Manchin and we can count him as a blue seat in West Virginia is because sometimes he votes with us. And sometimes we can whip, he's in our caucus and we can whip him to, sometimes you have to do that. And I don't, you might not like it, but I understand it, right? You're not going to get
political reality.
You're not
political
right.
Dreams.
You're not going to get an uber progressive, an uber liberal in West Virginia. All right. So we got to do it. All right. And I'm not going to shame the DNC for putting the money behind that. I think, and I'm not going to protect them either when women's groups or other people who are affected by these people come out there and protest them. All right. But Bernie Sanders doesn't get to come out there and take the stand now when literally his entire campaign, he did nothing but call Hillary Clinton a bad Democrat and bad liberal and shame the fucking DNC for not being progressive enough. And here he is now all of a sudden being a typical politician, which is what we told you he was last fucking year. Get Bernie Sanders the fuck out of here. So fucking tired of this shit, man. So fucking tired of this shit, man. Like, if I was a black woman, I would be fucking livid right now. 94% of black women voted correctly, but yet and still the DNC and everybody else is so focused on white dude Bernie and racist white working class voters. You don't see any articles about the black women who voted for Hillary Clinton who are now faced with having their health care taken away.
Right.
You don't see any articles like that. You don't see any articles on the black women who voted for Hillary Clinton and now have family members who are affected by the travel bans. You don't see any of that. You don't see any articles on the black women, on the black mothers of the slain kids who campaigned with Hillary Clinton. You don't see articles on them now that Jeff Sessions is out here, talking about cracking down and being tough on crime. You don't see articles on them, but you see articles on, I saw an op-ed today on, I voted for Trump because I thought he'd be different on foreign policy, and now I'm disappointed. You see those. If I was a black woman, I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed because you saw it coming, and once again, the rest of the country didn't listen to you then, and now is ignoring you and going to the assholes.
Why are we catering to the assholes? They fucked up. They don't get their voice should be silenced.
And that includes Bernie Sanders. I'm tired of hearing this dude.
He's a loser. When in America have we ever listened to losers?
He's literally a fucking loser. And then you get somebody like fucking Tom Perez. I mean, not Tom. Oh, Tom Perez is just fucking lost right now. Dude, you fucking won. Grab your fucking balls and tell Keith Ellison and Bernie Sanders to sit the fuck down. You literally got played this week with the GOP literally tweeting out the video of Bernie Sanders' crowd booing you. And Bernie not doing anything to tell his people to stop.
Because why would he?
You're being fucking played. And Keith Ellison out here now trying to blame Obama. Keep Obama's name out of your fuck. I swear to God. If I saw him like the rewrite of that. Democrats ran from Obama, didn't want him to campaign for him, and then you're going to turn around and blame him for not being a good party leader? Get the fuck out of here. What the fuck is wrong with you? These people, man. Fucking just made me so fucking angry. So fucking angry. Get your shit together, DNC. Democrat, get your shit together. And you know what? No, get yourself shit together, DNC. Because you know what I've actually been surprised by outside of Bernie? Democrats have actually been doing pretty well.
Rank and file Democrats are kind of doing the shit that we want them to do.
Like I had to check somebody that on the other day. Were like, Democrats are maybe like, no. It's a DNC right now being stupid, but Democrats themselves,
leadership fucking up. The rank and file, they're handling their shit.
I mean, like, you got Maxine Waters out there doing, like, Maxine Waters ain't giving a fuck. But
Zero
beyond that, Adam Schiff over there in the Intelligence Committee, like, all, like, the rank and file Democrats are doing their job. They did their best to block Gorsuch as best they could, and they forced McConnell to go nuclear. Like, they're doing what we wanted. They all banded together and for the most part voted against. Most of them voted against of all of Donald Trump's committee cabinet members. Like, they did the best. They did the best they could. The fact of the matter is they don't have the numbers. But rank and file Democrats are doing their job. They're doing what we asked them to do. You know the whole thing with Devin Nunes and the Intel Committee. Like, Adam Schiff is doing his job. He's calling out the people. He's calling the Republicans. They're doing what they need to do, and they're exposing the Democrats for being the hypocrites they are. Like Jason Chaffetz might not even finish his fucking term now. The walls are closing in. And the rank and file Democrats are doing their job. The DNC needs to get their shit together.
I have no faith in them doing that, though.
And I have no faith in them. As long as they're following Bernie Sanders, I have no faith in them doing that. Again, when you look at what the rank and file Democrats are doing, you got to ask yourself, where the fuck is Bernie? He's also a rank and file. He should also be a rank and file Democrat, even though he's not really registered as a Democrat. Where is Bernie in all of this? Then you find out that Bernie can't really say anything because he's not really on any committees, first of all. So Bernie doesn't really have a fucking job to do anyway. You know? He's over here talking about doing a unity tour while ignoring Vermont and its opioid crisis and shit like that. Like, why isn't Bernie doing his fucking job?
Yeah.
Stop being led around by this fucking fraud, yo. It's a fucking fraud. I'm tired of this shit. All right. Time for Great Moments of White Privilege.
Oh.
Great Moments of White Privilege, although that whole Bernie Sanders thing could have been a great moment of white privilege.
Really? I'm just saying, like, it feels redundant.
A Davos pick to head civil rights office once said she faced discrimination for being white.
It's like you found all the stories. I was like, man, I hope Chris didn't see this one. Just line them up.
The new acting head of the you can thank the doctor for this one. She actually sent this to me at what we were doing last show. We couldn't get to it, so this is hers. This is from her. You know. So, the new acting head of the U.S. Department of Education's Office of Civil Rights once complained that she experienced discrimination while because she is white. As an undergraduate studying calculus in Stanford University in the mid-1990s, Candace Jackson gravitated towards a section of the class that provided students with extra help on challenging problems, she wrote in a student publication. Then she learned that section was reserved for minority students. I'm especially disappointed that the university encourages these and other discriminatory programs, she wrote in the Stanford Review. We need to allow each person to define his or her own achievements instead of assuming competence or incompetence based on race. Although her limited background in civil rights law makes it difficult to infer her positions on specific issues, Jackson's writing during and after college suggests she's likely to steer one of education department's most important controversial branches into a different direction than her predecessor. A long-time anti-Clinton activist and an outspoken conservative-turned-libertarian, she had denounced feminism and race-based preferences. She has also written favorably about and helped edit a book by an economist who decried both compulsory education and the landmark Civil Rights Act of 1964. White feminism for you guys. It's only going to get worse.
Trash begetting trash.
It's only going to get worse. Like I feel like right now we're living in this world that we try to tell people about. Hey, listen, I know you don't like Hillary Clinton, but there's so many things other than president that are going to go on here. You have, Secretary of State. You have, the Attorney General. You have the Supreme Court. There's all this talk about maybe Justice, I think, Kennedy might be retiring, which God is fucking scary as shit right now. Of Trump picking another Supreme Court justice. But again, the things we said the next president might pick 2 to 3 fucking Supreme Court justices. People didn't listen. You followed Bernie. Bernie or bust.
Bernie or bust, y'all.
Too progressive. Now look at you. Jeff Sessions is over here literally single-handedly dismantling everything that Obama did when it came to civil rights in the Justice Department. Which, by the way, is funny to me now, seeing all the articles about people talking about what Jeff Sessions is undoing, because I could have sworn people were telling me that Barack Obama didn't do anything for black people and his Justice Department didn't do anything for civil rights. If he didn't do anything, then what the fuck is Jeff Sessions dismantling? Oh, I get it. You don't realize he didn't go far enough for you, but you don't realize that how far he went was so far beyond what any other president did before him. Oh. Everybody who grew up and only started paying attention to politics when it was the Barack Obama years is starting to realize how fucking lucky we had it. Not only did we have a president that could speak in complete sentences, you actually had somebody who laid a really great foundation. And as a country, we dropped the ball.
Yep.
And now we're going to go back, and it's going to take so much to get back to where we were. And this is why I'm so mad at what the DNC is doing with Bernie, because it's literally going back to pre-Obama times, which isn't what you want.
We're on Reagan time.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're trying to go back.
Kicking it back.
I mean, if Democrats are trying to win white working class voters, you're trying to go back to before the Civil Rights Act passed.
Exactly.
All right. It's time to start waking the fuck up, man. This is what you get. You're getting somebody who's anti-civil rights running the Civil Rights Department and the Department of Education. And do you know how much damage is going to be done? People forget how much damage that Bush did with his Department of Education. Betsy DeVos and Trump are going to make that look like child's play.
They don't believe in public education. They're active in like Bush did what he did, but I think that on some level they thought honestly that it was best.
Yeah, no, he had good intentions, and we know the road to hell and good intentions, right?
Whatever, yeah. But like, I honestly think that when he was in office, particularly in education, because of his wife,
yeah,
he was sold a bill of goods that he was told to be best for every student in the nation, and the people selling it to him lied to him. I honestly do think that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. He was wrong, but he wanted the best.
It wasn't malicious. It was never like, this'll fuck him. The Betsy DeVos' existence is a this'll fuck him.
Congratulations, guys. Congratulations. This is what you wanted. This is what you wanted. This is what you wanted. This is why elections have consequences. This is why when Obama said he'll take it as direct disrespect to his legacy if we do not get out there and vote, this is where that came from, guys. You're now understanding.
Yes.
You're now understanding. He was not lying. And that's why he's living his best life. And
it wasn't lying. It wasn't a joke.
Dead fucking serious, and it's true. So, yeah. Fuck this shit. All right. Last thing before we get out of here. Black woman shout out. I'm doing a little something different today. I am not reading from the emails we had this week. I will pick that up next week and more because I have two very special ones. The first one involves a black woman shout out in general. My black woman shout out is LaToya for her new show on the network, Secret Sauce. The first episode is called I Love Me. She interviewed 3 of the women that have submitted to us before. Daniel McRae, Asa, and Harrison Editing. So we did makeupmania.com, and the show is really, really good. Like, she put a lot of, like, she was very, very worried about doing this, I think, because the email she got and the worry I had from her was like, no, it's fine. I edited it together for her, but she did a really great job. I think the first episode was like an hour long. But she talked to all 3 of the ladies. She has a couple of clips about a Serena Williams article, and then she ends with a female comedian clip from a female comedian. So it's a really good first episode. We already have some of the interviews for the second episode she's going to do. I think she's going to try to do 2 a month. And she'll be reaching out to some of the ladies on the Black Woman Shoutouts that we've had that have been submitted to BW Business. But please support this show, just like we did with Unit. It's on the free network too. So I did that on purpose because not just for this show to get out there. 'Cause I think it's important for Black women voices to be out there, but also just so it can also be serve as promotion for these women and their businesses. And because we have so many women that submitted to us that we really did need it really did need its own show to do that and get that out there. So please support it. Once we get 5 episodes, just like we did with the Unanimous Decision, it'll make its own feed, so it'll have its own feed on the network. But right now it's on the main feed, so it's a place to get it. But listen to it, support it, share it out there. Let other women out there that you know have their own businesses out there. Go ahead and support them and let them know. And yeah, so that's one there. And then second one I have is someone who has been a guest on this show. And why do I not have... Wait, where did I put it? Hold on. Sorry.
Can I do mine real quick?
Yeah, go ahead and do yours real quick. I'm going to get this second...
You guys all listen to the ED Pod this weekend. We got Chris on talking sports. And I'm going to kind of echo this because it's going to be my MVP of the week this week too, Serena Williams. Look, y'all. Serena Williams won the Australian Open with a kid. She was pregnant, won the Australian Open, and announced on Maria Sharapova's birthday because she's the queen and she's the queen of petty.
Yeah, I mean...
The greatest athlete I've ever seen in my life. Man, woman, yeah, name it. She's the best.
Yeah, we'll talk about it more. We'll get. I knew we were going to talk about this, so we'll definitely save the discussion for...
Oh, definitely, but I had to put it out there because this is because now they're getting to see the article that someone was like, did being pregnant help her win the Australian Open? Like, motherfucker, was she pregnant the other 24 she won?
Mm-hmm.
I hate people, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, are we doing that now? Like, here's the thing. I think that there can always be arguments over the greatest athletes of all time. And I remember when there was like what was it, like the ESPYs or something like that, and like Ronda won over Serena, and people were mad. I was like, well, hey, listen, it's objective because like you're literally getting punched in the face, and like what Ronda was doing at the time, like I get it. Here's the thing. Serena won when she's pregnant. Like, debate's over. Like
yeah.
Like that's the big joker, right? Like we're having a good time. We're going back and forth. Where everybody's making arguments. Then somebody throws in the big and it's over. That's what that is. We're done. We're done.
Yeah.
Nothing else to say anymore. All right. So finally got my thing up. The second one I wanted to give for my Black Woman shout out is L. Joy Williams. We had her on a few weeks ago. I don't think she announced it then, but I've been knowing about this for a while. L. Joy is starting a new show. Not on my network. She has her own thing going on there. I had to throw it out there because everybody always thinks that I'm just swallowing up shows and shit like that. But no, it's called Sunday Civics with L. Joy Williams. And you got to really check it out. She has a Patreon account on there. Let me see if I can go ahead and play this YouTube.
Hi, I'm political strategist L. Joy Williams, and I'm excited to tell you about a new podcast I'm working on called Sunday Civics. Sunday Civics is a podcast for the civically engaged. So whether you've been active for the past few decades or you just got excited and fired up because of the last election, this show is for you. With each episode, my guests and I will dig a little deeper than what you see on the news and provide greater context to what's happening politically and provide concrete action steps on how you can get involved and make change. To do this work, I need your support. And one way you can support is by becoming a patron of Sunday Civics on Patreon. Patreon is a crowdfunding platform that allows you to support creators like me with just a few bucks a month. Your support as a monthly patron allows me to keep the show free, and you get access to rewards such as early access, ad-free downloads, your name in the show credits, or a ticket to be in the studio audience. Thank you in advance for your support. I hope you become a patron, and I look forward to sharing Sunday Civics with you.
You guys have had Eljoy on the show. You guys have heard her on the Twib, on Twib. You know this is going to be great. Like, I've been talking to her about this for a couple weeks, and I know she's really, really nervous about this, but I keep telling her, I was like, I remember when she first told me about this, and that she was doing this, I was like, of course, that just makes perfect sense. Like, you are really good at what you do, you know a lot, and that would be an awesome show. And she's still been nervous about it, but I'm really happy that she's officially out here with it, and she's out here doing the show. So please support her. Click on the Patreon. Help her by watching the show, subscribing to it, and go there. All the information's on her Patreon and stuff like that. So please do that. Like, I'm really excited about the show she's doing here. And yeah, that's my Black Woman shout out. The second one today. So again, basically two podcasts by two Black women that I know are doing really, really great jobs. And I think it's really giving a service to everything we're, I love the fact that I began the show talking about Black podcasts and we're ending it talking about Black women podcasts, because it means something. Like this is important. Again, we're out here doing the work, and it's about time to get the credit for that. But also just that, again, it's really hard because these are two shows that are just starting, and now I've talked to both women and just kind of worried that how will the show be, and because I know them, I'm like, oh no, I know it'll be fine. You'll do good work, and the amount of work that they put into it, and the amount of effort they put into it, like, let me tell you, for this first episode for Secret Sauce, Toya did 5 interviews. I think it's 5. She did 5 different interviews, and then she recorded an opening, and then she recorded a separate piece for Serena Williams article, and then she recorded something for the ending. All those pieces, and then we're putting it all together in one show, and it works out great. So she literally, and she does it worse than me because I just get one guest a week. She went out and had to schedule time from when she was going to interview these women, interview them, talk to them for like 15 to 30 minutes, and then we put it all together. Like, it's a lot of work going into that. But she did it, and it's quality work. So you definitely want to check it out. And they talk more about just this business, everything. There's a wide range of topics that are talked about in the show. And again, we've had Eljoy in the show, and you know how knowledgeable she is about politics and civics and what's going on there. So, I mean, I keep telling her, like, that's a no-brainer.
Right.
So please go out there and support these shows. And, yeah, that's it. So, all right. I think that's it for us today, man. At least for today.
That begins our team takeover of the network for the weekend.
Yeah, I gotta do our reading. I haven't read the three volumes yet. So
I haven't finished it yet, but that's fine. That's fine.
How many?
You want to see the Decepticons tonight? If they come to your town, go see them. Support them, please.
Oh, you lucky bastard! They're not here. They're not coming to. They're not in Washington D.C. yet. So damn.
They added the Atlanta date late, man. I was happy. I got right on the tickets too.
No, you should. I remember the last time they were in D.C. We saw them, so they're great. So yeah. If they're in your city, go check them out. So, all right, man. Normally I tell people where they can find you, but motherfuckers know where to find you, man. Like
UD Pod, Super Tuesday, Character Corner, and I guess like in another like 5 or 6 months I'll be back here.
Yeah. It's about right. Yeah. You know what's crazy? Everything for Super Tuesday comes back this week.
Ugh.
Yeah, we're back on that grind. But wait, I gotta stop this for this. Wait. Nigga, that Arrow's scissor reel.
Yo, what? Yo,
I'm calling that. Listen, we've been saying it. Arrow gonna finish stronger than Flash. Sorry, guys.
We're about to Eclipse season 2.
It's
flirting with Eclipse season 2. Like, people are like, how good is this really? That's how good.
I'm glad you came, kid.
Shit.
Nigga, listen. I watched that. I haven't even I watched it like 3 times, man. I was like, yo, Arrow's about to be.
I'm glad the Flash didn't release it so real, because then you realize there's no point.
Yeah, like, Like, yo, Arrow's about. I'm so excited for Arrow to come back. Like, Flash is back too. I was like, okay, that's nice. All right, cool. Arrow coming back though.
Yeah, but that Flash comeback is going to be future Flash.
Yeah,
Flash in the future.
Yeah, it should be fun. It should be okay. But, you know.
Yeah, but it's not going to be like Arrow.
Daisy got her powers back though at 10. So.
Oh, see, that's the poor Flash.
See, yeah, so Quake back. So I'm not sure. I'm not really sure how that's gonna go. So yeah. But anyway, guys, thank you guys very much for listening. And Sandy, check. Stay tuned. I'm hopefully in the next week or two we'll have the new mtrnetwork.net up. I'm really excited about the design, guys. Like, I'm finding new ways to design the site too, and I'm getting really, really excited about it. So you'll be able to find all of our stuff on there, on iTunes. You know what to do. And Sandy, check. Also get a Super Tuesday recap, Character Corner, Unanimous Decision. We're all there, all the MTR Network. Keep supporting Black Podcasts. Support everybody else. We were talking about Project Fandom, Where's My 40 Acres, Black Eye Tips, 3/5 Podcast, Black Astronauts Podcast. Support us all, man. I know we're all doing great work out there. Support everybody, yo. Because we deserve that shit. We do. Like, Tom being humble about that shit. So, all right, folks. Until next time, we are out of here. Peace.